Hello all and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see a very interesting topic called Model Context Protocol. So we shortly call it as MCP, and we'll be solving an real-time use case, and with the help of MCP we'll be hitting to our custom databases in order to solve a inventory management use case. Before jumping to the use case, let's understand what is MCP or Model Context Protocol. So Model Context Protocol is a tool which helps us connect our large language model to a custom databases or external data sources or APIs. So basically, let's say if you have a user is asking questions to our large language model. Now that large language model that large language model doesn't have a capability to talk to our custom databases and solve the customized problems. So in this case, we host the MCP on our LLM. So in this case, we'll be using Claude Desktop in order to host the server. And whenever we are hosting that MCP, we will be building a connections to the MCP server with the help of MCP client. So client is going to take care of protocol handling, and then we'll be hitting to the MCP server. So we will be writing an MCP server, and with the help of Claude Desktop, we'll be connecting to that MCP server, and that MCP server will then connect to our external data sources. In this case, we'll be using MySQL database, where it will connect to the inventory data that we have inside that data set, and it will extract the information. That way we'll be solving a real-time use case, and that use case can be anything, like all the inventory management tool activities our large language model will be able to take care. So in short, MCP help us connect our large language model to the external data sources and perform a customized task. If you want to learn more about MCP, then I have already covered the basics of MCP in previous video. The link is available in the description below. Please go ahead and check out that video. Without wasting time, let's jump onto the project section. First, let me show you the architecture diagram of the project that we are going to solve. Okay. This is the architecture diagram of a smart inventory management tool. So we will be building an inventory management tool, which is going to help user in order to take care of the daily or day-to-day activity, like adding the inventory, checking the stock, extracting the product information, removing the stock. So that's how this inventory management tool is going to help user. So user can ask the questions in natural language on a Claude desktop. So we will be using a Claude desktop, and this Claude desktop will give feasibility for user to input the query, which has a LLM capability. So we'll be using free version of Claude desktop, and on that Claude desktop we'll be hosting a MCP, that is model context protocol. Now this MCP server is going to, or this MCP host is going to connect to our inventory database that we have. So this is the database that we have, MySQL database. So we'll be using MySQL workbench, where we have inventory information. Now, our large language model doesn't have access to this particular dataset directly. And in order to give that access by maintaining a protocol, we will be using this MCP host. So that MCP host will send the request to the MCP inventory MCP server. So this is the server that we will be building, and that server will hit to the database by using these particular protocols, and then it will generate the response and pass that response back to the Cloud desktop that we have, basically the MCP host. Now this MCP or the inventory MCP server has different tools that it can perform. Like it can perform a addition of inventory, it can remove the inventory, it can check the stock level, it can list the inventory that is available. All those information it is going to perform on the our custom database. And this inventory MCP server that we have specifically built so that this LLM cannot or should not go ahead and disturb our database. This particular LLM is going to only take action on these different tools that we have given, because that is the protocol that we are maintaining. If you are directly connecting your large language models to, let's say, MySQL database, let's say your LLM model is generating any SQL query, and then you are executing that on the database, then in those cases what happens, sometimes let's say your LLM generates, let's say, drop table query, and it is executing that query on your database. What will happen? You will lose your data. In order to avoid that, we have a MCP which is going to manage the connections to the database, and by maintaining a protocol. So that way our LLM has access to the external database, and it will be able to perform the customization task. Now in real time, this database, you can replace it with, let's say, any external API as well, or you can connect to your repositories. All those connections, external connections, is possible with the help of MCP. So I hope the project idea is clear. Now this user, there are multiple interesting questions that this user asks. It may upload, let's say, PDF of purchase orders, invoices, and those invoices details, it will go ahead and MCP server go ahead and register that into the database. So very interesting use case. Please watch the video till the end. So without wasting time, let's straight jump into the coding. Okay, so I have opened my Visual Studio Code and let's start writing the code. As we already discussed in the architecture, first we will be going ahead and building the MCP server. So let's do that quickly. So in order to build the MCP server, let's start with the UV. So UV is a Python package manager, which will help us build the Python structure. So if you are new to the UV, I would recommend go ahead and install the UV. You can simply install the UV by pip install UV and UV will be installed. If not, if you are facing any issue, then I would recommend go ahead and check out the UV. So let me show you that. Yeah, so if you are facing any issue in installing the UV with pip install UV, then there are a couple of other activities that you can try. Like on Mac, you can use this command, or on Windows, you can use this PowerShell command. That way you'll be able to install the UV. And how exactly UV is going to help us, it is going to create the project structure for us. So let me quickly show you that. So in order to create the project, let's create UV in it and let's give the name as inventory MCP server. Let's hit. You can see it has initialized the project inventory MCP server at this particular location. You can see it has created, and under that you can see it has created git ignore the Python version, the latest Python version. Then it has created one main.py file where we can write our main code. Then project.toml in order to set up the project structure, and then we have readme. So yeah, that's how it is helping us to create the Python project package. So let's go ahead and enter into the folder. So cd inventory MCP server. Okay. Now, as you have installed the UV, now what else you need to install is if you are facing any issue, you may face issue because of the typer library. So just install pip, just do pip install typer. If you are facing issue, then only install the typer. Okay, so now I think we are good. So let's, instead of Python main, let me rename it to the inventory MCP server. Okay, so this is the file, and let's start writing our code. So initially, let's import the necessary dependencies. So we'll be using fast MCP, which is a class provided by MCP. And then in order to connect to the MySQL, we'll be using MySQL connector. So I'll show you how exactly it will be done. So here we have created a MCP object. You can see we are starting the MCP and the name we have given as MCP, inventory MCP. So the next step is connecting to the database. So before connecting to the database, make sure you have installed the MySQL workbench. So I have already installed that. Let me open that. So you can see this is the MySQL workbench that I have, and I have already created a connection. So it is very simple. I'll drop the link to download the workbench in the description. Go ahead and download the workbench, install it. It just, you need to select next, and the installation will be done. Make sure whenever you are creating a user, so here you can see I have created user as root. It will ask for you to enter a password. Make sure to remember that password because you will be requiring that password while building the connection. So let me connect to the server that I have. So let's say I have connect. So you can see I have connected to that root user, and these are the previous data sets that I have. Now for us to build the database or to create the tables, we will be using a one script. So I have already created that script so that we can create an inventory table. So let me go ahead and show you that. So here, let me go ahead and create the create table.sql, and this is the query that we'll be using in order to create the database. So just copy this one, go to your MySQL workbench and paste that. So basically it is to create the database iTech inventory. iTech is our YouTube channel name. So if you haven't subscribed to YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe that, like this particular video. Now we'll be creating this custom database, and you can see we'll be adding a product information. Now the products are the laptop, mouse, phone, the power bank, all those related products that we have in our database. And you can see we are inserting those products. So whenever we are executing this, it will create a database. You can see it has created the database. So let me refresh that. You can see it has created iTech inventory database. And in the tables, you can see there is one table created, inventory. So let me query that table and show you. You can see now we have these different products available. Their product name like Dell keyboard, then we have USB, then we have Samsung charger, Apple AirPods. We have all those details and the location, the warehouse at which these products are available. Right. So iTech is a distributor, which just like Amazon and Flipkart. From these locations like Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, we are going to export these, or we are going to distribute these products to the different users as per the as and when we are getting the request. And these are the quantity that are available at these particular warehouse locations. Again, this is the dummy data that we have created. But yeah, so you can see we have item ID, product name, location, and quantity. So please go ahead and execute this particular query in order to create the table. Now, once the table is created, let's go ahead and build that particular connection. So in order to build the connections, we will be using a MySQL.connector. So that is what we have imported. And let's set up a configuration. So these are the database configuration. In order to connect to the MySQL Workbench, we will be requiring host. So host is your local host. That is what, because we have MySQL Workbench on localhost. User, as I mentioned, I have given name as root. Password, I have given root123 as a password when I created that particular root user. And then the database name is iTech inventory. That's the database that we have created recently. So make sure you pass your user ID and password correctly, and then you'll be able to connect to the MySQL Workbench. Now, this is the simple basic structure that you have done. Now, next step is to start writing the MCP different tools. So let's go ahead and write the tool for adding the inventory. So you can see we are using MCP.tool decorator in order to convert these Python functions into a MCP, basically a tool, or you can consider it as a API, meaning let's say this is going to act as a API in order to add the inventory. So you can see we are connecting to the database with the help of database configurations. Then we are inserting this particular, or we are executing this particular query. So this is the dynamic query. You can see insert into inventory and these details that we are passing. So this is the dynamic query. You can see insert into inventory, these details, and then it is going to insert that. So all those item ID, product name, location, quantity will be passed dynamically by our LLM, and that's how it is going to add. And with this decorator, it is going to convert this as a MCP uh, tool, so that it can, so that our MCP host or MCP server can connect to this and execute this. And this is the way it is going to make sure that it is going to add the inventory with this particular protocol that we are defining. We have defined the final structure, right? And so we have defined the standardized structure. So let's go ahead and add the remaining tool. So next one we have is for removing the inventory. So again, for removing inventory, we have tool, then remove inventory, which will take input as item ID, location, quantity, and we have given a update query. Now, so you can see we have given these arguments. Who exactly is going to pass these arguments? So our large language model is going to identify based on user query and pass these attributes. And with the help of MCP tool, it is going to execute these particular Python functions. So the next one is checking the inventory. So if user wants to check what is the quantity that is available, then we can use check stock. And again, simple, we are identifying for that particular item ID and location what is the stock that is available, and we are returning it. Very simple, right? Very simple Python code. It is just checking the number of quantity that is available inside a inventory. And let's add the last one is to check the list of inventory. So this is again in order to check the total inventory that is available, right? So very simple, we have added four different tools as we discussed. So if you see here, we have added add inventory, remove inventory, check stock, and list inventory. These different tools that we have registered now. Now, as the tools are registered, let's go ahead and write the main function quickly. This is just in order to test whether our MCP is working fine or not. And damn, done. We have totally created our MCP server. This is the MCP server. So you can see with single line we are starting the server, and with MCP.tool we have registered different capability for our tool. And this is the database connection that we have given. Done. That's it. Now, from coding perspective, we are done. What next step that we need to do is we need to install the Claude Desktop. So for installing the Claude Desktop, just search Claude Desktop and you will get the link to download. And based on your operating system, you download the desktop. like Cloud Desktop. Like for Windows, you can use these, and for Mac OS, you can use. Right. Once you download that, go ahead and install that. Installation is very easy. Just hit next, 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 and the installation will be done. And then whenever you are opening the Cloud Desktop, first it will ask you to sign in. So sign in with your Gmail account. You no need to pay anything. It is not going to charge you as such. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have already installed that. So let me go ahead and open my Cloud Desktop. Okay, so this is the Cloud Desktop. I hope you have signed to the Cloud Desktop with one of your account. So you can see this is the model that it is using. So this is Claude Sonnet 4 is our large language model. Let's see if it is working or not. So let's add some greeting message. Okay, so it is giving the response, meaning it is working. Now, in order to make it work, first of all, we need to go ahead and register the MCP server. We need to host that MCP server here. So in order to host that server, what we need to do is we need to go ahead into, let's go ahead into our code. And here we just need to use one command in order to run the MCP server. So to run the MCP server, we have special command. So let's go ahead and I'll show you that. If you search MCP, so MCP Python SDK, so this is what we have created earlier. So if you remember, we used cd MCP server demo. Go ahead and install the MCP CLI if you are facing any issue, or else it is not required. And in order to run that server, we need to use this particular command, uv run MCP install server.py. So in our case, server is nothing but our inventory MCP. So let's go ahead and do that. uv run MCP install. Okay, there is a small spelling mistake. Let me go ahead and correct that. It should be inventory. Yep. And here in uv run MCP install inventory MCP server.py. Let's go ahead and install that. Okay. So as soon as we have done that, you can see what it has done. It has created a virtual environment, and then it has added this inventory MCP to Claude config, meaning it has detected that, okay, Claude config is available in our PC, and it has registered this particular MCP inventory MCP model context protocol into the Claude config. I'll show you where exactly it is there, and you can see successfully install inventory MCP in Claude app. Now, you may face some issue like you need to install the MySQL library, like you can see MySQL connector. So in order to install that, go ahead and use this command pip install MySQL connector Python, and that way your this particular error will go if you are facing any, right? So those are the details are required, and if you are facing any issue, please go ahead and install the MCP server as well. Pip install MCP server. As my environment is already up and running, that is where I'm not sure whether you will face that issue or not, but I have given all the necessary. So typer you need to install, UV you need to install, MySQL connector you need to install, and MCP server if required, right? So those are the basic requirements. So that is done now. You can see it was running. So let me show you that once again. So it is running on the Cloud app. So let's go ahead and open the Cloud app. And on the Cloud app, you can see it should show the connectors here. Okay, it is not showing. So what you can do, you can go to developer mode. One setting you need to do that, you need to go into help troubleshooting, and you need to enable the developer mode here. Here you will have an option to enable that. Once you enable that, then only you will be able to see the connectors. So for me, I have already enabled it. So please go ahead and do that. And for now, why it is not showing, let's go ahead and reload the MCP configuration. So as we have reload that, okay, it is still not showing that. Let me go ahead and close and open the Cloud Desktop once again. You can close and open, or what you can do is you can go ahead and as I have already tried out, so for me it is showing that issue. So let me go ahead and clear the cache and restart. Okay, so I have restarted my Claude Desktop. Let's see whether tools are available here now. Okay, you can see the inventory MCP server is registered successfully. And if you click on that, you can see these are the different tools that are available, like add inventory, remove inventory, check stock, and list inventory. So yeah, we are able to successfully register our MCP. Now it's time to test it out. So for testing, let's see, get me the items that are available in the Mumbai location or in the Mumbai warehouse. Let's see. So it should call the list tools that we have. So you can see it is calling the list inventory tool, and based on the inventory data, there are items currently available at Mumbai location. So we have accessories, laptop, mobile phones, and tablets. So what exactly it is doing? It is hitting to the database that we have, and then it is extracting those details. So if you want to cross check that, then let me go ahead and show you. If you see at Mumbai, we have Logitech, Samsung, Asus, all these details that are available, and those details it has given here. If you see mobile Samsung, it has given these Logitech mouse and all those details it has given, and as well as it has given the categories as well. This is not there in the database, but still it is able to detect that. Let's see if you want to add one product. Let's see how exactly it is going to add. So let me copy one thing for a quick this thing. So please add, let's say, Suntech mouse, let's say AC 100, and let's add 500 quantity. Let's see whether it is calling the right tool or not. Okay, so you can see I'll add Suntech mouse, and it has called the add inventory and successfully added Suntech AC 100 with 500 units. Let's go ahead and check out. So let me go ahead and execute this once again, and let's search for 500 quantity. You can see Suntech 500 quantity, and our previous conversation was with Mumbai, so it has selected Mumbai as a location. It didn't fail. Like if you are not passing the location, it is going to pick that, because in the previous conversation we were talking about Mumbai. So it has added that, right? So addition is also working fine. So let's go ahead and remove some records. So let's say I want to remove this particular record. So please remove the inventory for item. So let's say we want to remove this particular laptop. Let's say whether it is doing that. You can see it has called the remove inventory, and you can see successfully removed all 15 units of HP Pavilion laptop. So let's go ahead and check out that. You can see HP Pavilion laptop, it has removed that. You can see it was 002. It has removed. It has reduced the quantity to 0, meaning it is working fine, right? Okay. So that's how it is working. Now, as an advanced step, right? Let's say, for example, our inventory user wants to add a new information. Let's say there is one purchase order that we have placed with our customer, and or with our supplier, and that purchase order we want to update into our inventory. So based on that, so let me show you that I have created one PDF file. Okay, so this is the purchase order invoice that we have. Let's say we have a date, then we have these supplier ABC Tech Supplier Private Limited. This is the purchase order number. You can see PO ID, item details. Then we have product name Lenovo, Google Pixel 8, and the location is Mumbai and Delhi. Now we have this purchase order information. It is in PDF format. Now, if I want to add that, right, for a user, what needs to be done? Like they need to write the SQL query, add these product details manually, and run the query. Instead, now let's go ahead and upload this PDF directly to our tool. So keep in mind, we are adding these details, like we have lab 10 and phone 005. So let's go ahead and do that. So here you can see, click on add, upload a file, and let me select the purchase order. So you can see we have selected the purchase order I, and let me ask the question. Please add the inventory based on below purchase order. Let's see it. Let's see whether it is working or not. Sorry for the spell mistake, but that's fine. You can see it is calling that add inventory 2 times, because we have 2 items to add. And you can see first it has added Mumbai warehouse Lenovo ThinkPad. 5 units it has added, and then for at Google Pixel it has added 10 units. Let's go ahead and check out that. So Google Pixel, let's see. You can see phone 005 Google Pixel at Delhi, it has added 10 records. And the next one was, you can see, sorry, what was that? ThinkPad, right? Lab 010. You can see ThinkPad at Mumbai location, it has added 5 quantity. Meaning now, let's say if you have 100 different rows, or if let's say if you have 100 different purchase order, you just need to come upload that PDF and done. If it is Excel, it will work on Excel. If it is image, it will work on image, right? So that's how your LLM model is extracting those details, and with the help of MCP, it is going to hit to that particular server. Now let's go ahead and add one more question. So I have this another PDF, another purchase order. Let's say we have these different close to 10 items that we have, the different product name, their location, quantity, and the price. And we can see there is other information like purchase invoice number, like the date, the supplier, and all those details that we have, right? Now, and you can see below we have some notes as well. Now, our LLM is smart enough. It is going to extract only the item information, and only item information it is going to ingest into the database. Now, imagine in your real time, if you are adding your LLM the capability to read this particular invoice and update the database. If it is making some mistake, right, it may add these particular date and other information into your database, and it will corrupt your database. And but with the help of our MCP, it is going to make sure that it is only going to add the item information. So let's go ahead and try it out. So please add the below item to the inventory, and let me select the file. We have selected this file, and let's go ahead and upload that. So let's see how exactly it is going to work. So as you can see, for adding each item, it is calling the tool. And at each tool, you can see what is the information that it is passing. You will be able to understand the request that it is hitting, right? As we have not used, as we are using a local database here, that's where the authentication is not required. But let's say in next video, I'm going to cover how exactly you can add authentication as well. Now we have registered the tools. Next video will be connecting to the APIs. So, and for connecting to those APIs, we'll be needing the authentication as well, right? So we will be seeing that how exactly the MCP is going to connect to the connecting to the different APIs like Microsoft Document APIs and all those. So stay tuned for next video as well. So you can see it has done all those information and it has successfully added that. Let's go ahead and check out. So let's execute that, and you can see it has added all those information. So you can see phone and all those information. I think yeah. So the ID is different, but you can see we have Lenovo, Google Pixel, Dell, Google Pixel, Lenovo, Dell, Lenovo. It has added Dell. It has added. So everything it has added accurately. So yeah, this is how the MCP is helping us in order to build or in order to connect to our custom databases or in order to connect to our external sources. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you're interested in such more real-time projects, please do let me know in the comment sections. And if you really like this particular video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with your friends. And stay tuned for more such interesting real-time projects. Thank you so much.